Thanks for listening to the Coffee with Jim and James podcast. On this episode, we're going to highlight some of our favorite guests from the Southern Gas Association's Natural Gas Connect. We hope you enjoy, and don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn for more interviews.
All right, we are here with our first guest, James, which always for me is the kickoff, the pinnacle.
You can only have one first guest.
You can only have one, and
every time. I mean, I guess
that's a rough one.
Okay, you and Andy have known each other for a while.
Like 2 or 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've known each other on LinkedIn, and then all of a sudden, this is out of our time in the industry. This is the first time we met.
This is how we know. This is the length in which we know you. I'll say, hey, Jimmy, I saw Andy last week at OGA, and he'll go, and he's trying to think of how to say your last name, and he sits there for a minute, and then he'll make something up that's egregiously wrong, right?
Terribly wrong.
And I'll go, yes, that Andy.
Shingledecker.
You got it.
You know what? I may play that role.
I
like it.
Andy,
I like
do us a favor. Introduce everybody that might not know you and how to say your last name properly.
Yep. Andy Shingledecker. My government name is Thomas.
Gosh. I hope that doesn't come out today. You know you're in trouble. Somebody screams Thomas.
I've been in the pipeline world for 25 years, heavily involved on the construction side, inspection side. I have progressed into gas companies the last few years and now work for an EPC campus. Yep. So I'm on the engineering side, but still heavily involved in the natural gas world.
So I met Andy it was like the SGA, it was like a focus group, right? Mm-hmm. That we got together in Dallas. The SGA called earlier in this year, and we met there. But then a couple of weeks ago at the Oklahoma Gas Association's Leadership Summit, Andy was there, and I got to teach him. I got to instruct him.
Whoa.
On my favorite topics, soft skills.
You like that?
Emotional intelligence. He's like an emotional intelligence nerd like
we
me.
love it. We love it.
Yeah, it's a game changer. For me, in my personal and professional life, it's a game changer. It's been slow to come on my personal life, if I'm honest. My wife complains that I treat my staff employees way better than her sometimes. I'm
allegedly.
Our families get our worst versions sometimes, right? Because it's the only place we feel safe. We talk about that when we talk about it. But emotional intelligence has given us a place. I said it the other day that you don't even know what to Google if you don't know what the name is, right? So giving folks that information to be able to go out and learn more, grow it's something you can get better and better at, which is awesome.
We can, and let's use this conference as an example right now. It's called Natural Gas Connect, and one of the portions of that Connect is connecting people in the industry, which again, if you think of soft skills and emotional intelligence, there's a way to actually meet people. Sometimes that's very hard for people to actually
100%.
To make a new connection or what that takes. So I think it does take for people unfortunately, like people like me that are outgoing to make sure I help connect folks. But given that with Southern Gas Association, Natural Gas Connect, what do you think the value of connections in the industry is for you and or other people?
For me, I really think that it's about learning.
Okay.
So when I connect with folks, I try and learn about their background, their company, how they're involved, and I ask a really hard question of everybody, because it's guided me, is what are you doing to change the industry for the better?
Wow.
What are you doing for tomorrow?
That's a good question.
How do you engage your network, your people, your employer, your staff to do better, do good? And that connecting, that's
what we're doing right now.
It's the namesake of this stuff, right? And it's empowered me in my career, people around me, people underneath me. That's how you get places. That's how you do things. I would say that the other part of that is I'm big on succession planning, another soft skill kind of thing, right? Like training my assassin is kind of what I call it.
Absolutely.
I build them better, faster, smarter, stronger than me. That way the transition's easy. And that's one of those things like...
You have to be brave to do that, Andy.
You
really
got to be
do.
comfortable
Especially
and brave to work yourself out of a job.
Yeah. Well, I'm not very good at what I do, right?
Same.
It's a fact. I try really hard. I'm dedicated, but I'm not the best at what I do. I surround myself with those people, and I think the connection is where that really kind of it hits its stride, because as I'm building that person underneath me, I use those connections to help further that cause for them, right? Like, I want them to grow at our company. I want them to grow where we're at. But if there's no room there, then you use those connections in the industry to go, hey, these people are doing the same thing or doing something different, and you help them navigate that. That's what connections about. It's the navigation.
That's what it is, man.
I think this is a
pro.
potential for a presentation right here.
Man, and I am
Thank you,
thankful,
brother.
Andy,
Thank
for
you.
your connection, sir, and your continued work for this industry. Andy
Thank
was
you.
one of the ones in our group when we vowed at the beginning of the year to be better natural gas champions. And so what better way to do it than getting
Yeah.
out here and talking about it? Come join our industry, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Get the tattoo like we all got.
Right here,
Natural
the
gas
brand.
champions for life.
Oh, we can't show
Yeah,
that.
we got to keep that on
That's
the
all
down low.
Hey, I appreciate you, Andy. We'll be back.
We'll be
Thank
back.
you.
How special is this, Jimmy?
You know what? It's very special. It's extremely special.
2 for 1?
Yeah,
2 for 1 special?
I'm the bonus. That's the real one.
Ryan was
know
sitting
about that.
down. He was just resting. We were going to surprise him and record, and he jumps up, and Suzanne runs over and
They said, well, if you can't get anybody else, bring Suzanne in.
tag teaming it.
Well,
We are live at SGA Natural Gas Connect with none other than the infamous and the famous and the infamous
Notorious.
notorious.
Suzanne. For those that don't know you, if you don't mind, just introduce yourself. I know you've been on before, but nobody watches the show.
Suzanne Ogle, CEO, Southern Gas Association.
Oh, so you know a little bit about this conference.
You know,
Tell
I
us
do.
a little bit about SGA.
I've read the app.
I have the app.
with the flex.
Use the app.
Ryan,
How are
go
you guys?
ahead. I know you've been on the show more times than Jim has, but
Ryan Ellis, Director of Sales and Training for Grubner.
Grubner.
Welcome.
Diverse
Welcome, our
group here.
friends.
Great show so far, Suzanne. It's been awesome. We were just reminiscing on the keynote. A lot of great messages in there. Anything you're super proud of in this conference so far?
Well, I'm always proud of our members who come and show up and learn from each other, which I think is a great experience. I mean, I don't think you can get that you really can't get a lot of that knowledge without sharing and having those conversations. So I think that's one of the best parts. But I was happy with the keynote, really excited about that. James and I were just talking about that, just the fundamentals and everybody understanding in the industry, all the different dynamics, right? So we said, your job doesn't start and stop at a city gate and a burner flame, right? Or it doesn't start and stop in a pipe. It has to be interconnected. So
It was very good. Ryan, anything for you? You've been able to catch anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, working with guys like you guys, our manufacturers, our other vendors, and our customers coming by, we've already, just 30 minutes ago, we had a conversation linking a customer and a manufacturer together. So
Excited. I like that.
Sounds like connections being made.
Well, and it is called Natural Gas Connect.
connected. Yeah.
Connected.
No, it is connect.
Connect, but being connected.
Being connected is the most important part.
And connections in the industry, as I always say, relationships are the keystone to everything that we do in this industry. Because I may not have the solution for somebody, but I may know a person
Who knows a person?
that we
Who
can,
knows a person?
that we could connect them up and get something done for them, and I get a lot of satisfaction out of that.
And, that's why I've had such a great career, because I love it. But I'm going to make a breaking announcement on this podcast.
Whoa,
Let's go.
We got the scoops.
Here we go.
My son he went to college in Tampa, came back, was kind of floundering around, can't figure out exactly what he wanted to do, managing Einstein Brothers, which he really loved his job, got to be the baker, gets up at 4:30 in the morning.
Love it.
And but realized that really wasn't going where he wanted to go as far as a career. And I suggested that he come to the natural gas industry because it's the best job in the whole world
best.
ever.
You heard it here first.
Best job. He got applied for Atmos and was offered a job, and he's going to start with Atmos in July, and he's
Wow.
so
Is
that
excited
right?
and proud of himself and just thrilled. And I'm thrilled that we're bringing younger people in and that they get to have the
Amen.
great career that I got to have.
That's exciting because we talk about that, our aging workforce, and our new folks entering cannot keep up with the amount of folks that are retiring. Mid-Tex, West-Tex, which...
McKinney.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
North Tech. Yeah.
Yep. And
I
Ryan-
told him he might want to move up there, out of the house.
Oh, whoa.
Out of the
Allegedly,
It's on somebody
allegedly out of
else's
the house.
payroll now. How
Yeah.
about that, Atmos? That's great
exciting,
news.
though.
Yeah, it's exciting,
That's
right?
always
Because
good.
I think so much of Atmos, I think they do a great job, great culture, and I think it's going to be fantastic for him. He gets to have a career that he's going to be able to learn and grow in and just really
Absolutely.
be with the greatest people that there are in the world.
Oh, and,
Lots of
and
fun.
there's a good chance he could be at an SGA conference in the
And he'll
future.
be a member. Well, and he'll be a member.
Paying member. Oh.
I'm not sure about that.
Man,
There's no family
check
discounts.
back.
No
yeah.
family
We'll have to
discounts.
check back on that story.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. We'll have to have him on.
Yeah, and you know my daughter works for Magnolia Rivers. So,
I do,
yeah.
right?
So, I mean, this is
and
exciting
listen, I
news.
can only bring one person into the industry because I've only had one child.
But that's
Listen, I'm saving it for my daughter, and y'all better get ready.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just telling you.
Bring in the
it's
women.
It's going to be a whole nother problem.
because Ryan's going to be retiring soon at his. Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow. It's like that, huh?
Ryan, I forgot you were back there.
That's okay.
Come on.
I've got future kids to bring too. So,
Amen.
but why stop at your one? Get your
I
one
only have
and
one.
their friends.
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh.
Because I surely don't want any more.
Multiplicity. Yeah, I was
But
wondering
he
where he
came
was
home
going
with
with
a
that.
puppy the other day, and I was,
Oh,
it's just
man.
like having another child.
Ryan, how important have connections been to your career?
They're everything. We don't. This industry doesn't exist without the connections, guys. You have heard me say before on here. Between bringing new products to the industry, and you have to do that through connections. To, one of our most recent ones is we've talked about it before, but we've rebranded a little national third-party evaluator for EWN.
Yep,
Good.
absolutely.
I get to meet new friends every day because of that connection.
Yep, absolutely. And it's all over this place. I mean, from the speakers, you see the panels. Those are some of my favorite sessions is seeing all the panels because a lot of them are friends that have been. We were just Steve Allen and Joe Ellen Scott and Jim Francis and Bose are all up there presenting. Those are good friends.
Yeah.
We were just talking to somebody, and they told us, we love the show because I get to see my friends on there. And
Oh,
we
yeah.
never really thought about that part, right? I mean, that's how we started, but it's a different place now, and people are watching it because they like to see their friends every day.
Yeah.
So say hi to your friends.
Hi, friends.
Hi, friends.
Well, awesome. How important have connections been for you?
Oh my gosh, the most. I mean, when I wanted to come to SGA, I saw this job offered, and it was I'd worked in the industry for about 30 years, and I'd been in transmission and I'd been in production, and I really wanted this job. Right, I knew this was the one I wanted, and this is where I wanted to finish out my career. And I went and applied, and they wouldn't talk. The headhunter wouldn't talk to me for a long time because she's like, "Well, you didn't have transmission experience." I'm like, "But I did have transmission experience." She's like, "What? You weren't in operations." And so finally, Bill Cantrell went through a bunch of interviews, and then he pulled out my resume. He's like, "This is the one I want to talk to," and he brought me in, and I went and sat down with the board of directors and talked to all of them. And I had a great conversation with the board of directors, and I think they were pretty much sold on me. But then I went out to my connections that I had worked with for my entire career that believed in me and had worked with me and trusted me. And I had probably 30 people write letters of recommendations for me for this position. So, that wasn't my intent, building those friendships and those connections over the years. But I would say, show up in a way that matters because that helps you through your life and it hurts you through your life.
Yeah. for
Well
sure.
said. Well
Very-
said.
Very much. Well, thank you both for being one of my connections.
Yeah, thank you.
And
One of
being-
my first people I ever met, James.
Wow.
Is that right?
that's-
Remember, we
wow.
met over in
What, your-
Colleyville. We
and
went
your
to
son
Black
was there,
Walnut.
Actually, you
He
brought
was?
your son
He was
there.
probably 12.
You sent him off and was like, "You can go over here. Sorry,
Go
my son's
shopping."
here." I did not know that. That's so wild.
You remember that?
I remember the
brand
yeah.
new, brand
That's
new.
so funny.
Yep.
Well, here we are.
And here we are.
All right.
Thank
Ryan,
you very much for having
we
us
like
on.
you
Thanks
too.
always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for being good
just
travel
took
partners.
number one on on the list. You've been
The
on the show
twofer.
more than anybody.
You
Yeah.
think so, huh?
Well, number 3 after me and Jim.
Well, and you only wanted to do it from the back of a pickup truck going through San Antonio at 55 miles
allegedly.
an hour. Allegedly, of course.
I'm glad he was in the back.
Yes, he wasn't driving, but he
Yeah.
was on a Zoom call. And thank you for this conference and all the other events and
Thank you for
everything.
being
Letting
here.
us be a part
Everything
of
that
it,
the
help
SGA
share this
does.
message.
Yep, absolutely.
Hey, we'll
Appreciate
be back.
it.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Jimmy,
I don't even know where to begin, James. I don't
one
even
of
know
our
where to begin.
favorite friends.
Yes, please.
There's never a doubt
No.
when this person joins us. Did you come on when we were at SGA before? Did
Yes.
you?
Yes.
I thought so.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Steve
it was.
was out wrangling. Maybe it was AGA. Was it AGA or an
No,
SGA?
I
It
think
doesn't
it was
matter.
SGA.
Steve goes out on one of his
SGA.
treasure hunts.
Oh,
Do us
yeah.
a favor too, if you will lift
Oh,
that
yeah.
up. The designers love it. It's just the truth. We try to be
This
better
way they know
friends.
my name, too.
Yeah, I'm James.
It's also so you don't forget.
That's why I wear this.
For those that don't know, Joel, will you do us a favor and introduce yourself to our audience again? There's a few out there that don't know.
I'm Joe Scott, and I work at Entrust Solutions Group. I do process development, regulatory, and SMS consulting.
Ergo, that's why she and Jim Francis were doing the session that I sat in on today, which was a great session, too. Thank you very much for
Which
that.
one? I feel like y'all are on. It's like the band's back together, and y'all are just doing different shows in different areas around here.
It's a little funny. So
been
I
awesome.
joined Vectron. I was interviewed by Jim, and my initial interview was not for SMS. And reportedly, Jim said she'd be awful. Hire her for that SMS thing. And so I
Whoa.
didn't get the first job, but I got the second.
Did we just get the scoop? On
I think
that?
we just got some
We're going to have
scoop.
to have Jim on to have
She'd
the
be
other side
awful
of the
for
story.
this. Hire her for that SMS thing.
Oh, I can't wait.
I wanna
You
hear
have
the
got
back-
to get Jim back over here to have that
Oh,
conversation.
we'll have Jim Francis on. for
You know,
that.
Jim
That was
painted us.
reportedly. Yeah.
Oh, wait, we like to say allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yes, that's our term, allegedly. Remember, everything should be
Jim
alleged.
always has a place in my heart because he painted us. And I don't want to say anything, but you haven't painted us not one time.
I will now.
Did you see the picture
She
you painted
will.
of us?
I did.
Isn't that something?
Yes, it is.
I mean,
is pretty
Do
impressive.
you paint?
I do.
Do you really?
I used to own a custom mural art and quilting business.
Of
Seriously?
course you
Yeah.
did.
What haven't you done?
I don't juggle well.
Okay, one thing at a time. Laser focused.
Joe, we are asking everyone
Yes.
while they're here, we're at Natural Gas Connect, the value in connections, right? We're sitting here, friends, joking around, laughing. You're talking about presenting with some of your friends. For you, how important have connections been in this industry?
I came into this industry knowing one person, which was Nancy Condor.
Oh,
So
okay,
I
yeah.
had worked for her previously in another industry. And one day she calls me up and says, "Were you opposed to working, or were you just taking some time off?" I was like, "Oh, I was just taking some time off." She goes, "Great, apply by Friday." Click. And that was that. But what I was given was time to learn about the industry, and then also time to get to know people in industry and really understand what they're going through, what their day-to-day experience is. And that made me so much better at SMS because I was able to start at zero and I didn't have any assumptions about what people faced every day. So they understood that I really was there to listen to them because they are the experts. And so for me, by starting from nothing and then being able to develop those, it made all the difference in the world. And so now I have 85 big brothers and 15 big
I know,
sisters.
right?
And
Joe knows a ton of people in the industry. It's just obvious when we're at conferences together how many people interact, call your name out, the
Or
discussions.
you yell at them.
Or
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
She
It's-
yelled at me in the lobby yesterday.
And then the idea of being pulled into the process of the sessions, which are so important for the knowledge sharing, and you're well respected in the industry, and it goes
thank you.
goes to show with that.
Back at you.
Well, thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay,
Chop liver.
industry expert right here.
That was both.
Oh, you know what our industry couple name is, right?
Jim.
Jim. We just go by Jim. It works. It's a lot easier. It's shorter. Just kidding.
Look at
Just
the audience over here.
Just Jim.
We just about
I'm just
lost.
kidding.
We just about lost some
Thank you
people.
so much for all you do for our industry.
Of course.
And for being a good
Always.
friend.
Thank you.
Of
Tell everybody we
course.
said when we're getting Jim on here, we're going to hear the other side of the story. We'll be back.
See you in a bit.
All right. And we're live.
We're live.
We're back. So I met Jeremiah.
Yeah, bring me into this, please.
Kinda. So I sat in the back of one of his sessions in Oklahoma City. I'll be honest, I'd never been to that conference. Not a space I'm traditionally in on the environmental technical side.
Okay.
And and I told you that I was like, I don't know. I loved the event. Everybody there seemed like they all knew each other. It was great. And so I was like a fly on the wall, kind of learning. And so I caught end of Jeremiah's session, right? It was at that one, I believe. And then, so I follow him on LinkedIn at the end because I just got the end. And I'm like, dude, this guy's everywhere doing everything. And you know me, I'm a nerd, so I saw like, drones and all kinds of stuff going on. So I kind of stalked him a little bit. And then we were somewhere else coming back, like, because weren't we at DFW, something like that? He rolls up with a big old cart, and I know he's got a drone in there or something, right? And so we talked there, and the rest is history. We're best friends now.
Yeah, we are best buddies, man.
Best
And
buddies.
because of you two, I became connected today.
Yep.
Well, not that we weren't connected before, but I'm saying personally connected, face to face.
Even better.
Which is,
Even better.
one step better than electronic, through the electronic world of connections.
The
This is awesome.
interwebs.
Welcome.
Jeremiah,
Thank
do us a favor. Introduce yourself to everybody, who you're with, how long you've been around, all that kind of good stuff.
So, hey, everybody, Jeremiah Walker. I own my own company. It's called Bowden Consulting Services, and I've been doing environmental consulting and doing this technical stuff for 15 years now in the oil and gas industry, energy industry. So, wow.
Very cool.
And I heard drones in there, so that means you're kind of techie too, right?
Yes, drones. You've been flying for a long time, and we utilize drones to capture that data for everybody, I guess.
And I have to ask a question though. That drone world has changed drastically over the last 5-6 years.
Yep.
What used to be, people would say, a hobby, now is a very professional, almost regulated
hobby.
too. Regulated too. You
It's
cannot just fly
regulated.
drones anywhere.
Right,
You
right.
have got to. You're probably certified, licensed, or whatever.
Yep, got a pilot's license and commercial insurance, and operators want to make sure they're protected out there when you fly. You can't just be some guy. You could be, but
Like James in his backyard.
right.
I didn't know we were going to talk about this.
We'll leave that allegedly.
But it's highly regulated. But at the same time, it's not so disruptive to a point where you can't use it and get the data that you need for projects. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So cool.
Big words,
You've been
right?
involved with the SGA a while. Did you
This
just
is
get involved?
This is really my first year getting really involved
really?
with SGA.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, see, it seemed like everybody knew you when I was there, so I guess you just do a good job on LinkedIn. He's a good marketer.
LinkedIn. Yeah.
Well, look at Amanda. I'm sorry, Angela.
I'm going to be bringing this up. I misspoke somebody's name earlier, and I'll never hear the end of it.
It's,
We love you.
It happens. We all make mistakes.
I do.
Yeah, we do.
I make
Yeah.
mistakes every day. Every day. And James helps me get out of my mistakes.
If you aren't connected with Jeremiah, he's an awesome follow on LinkedIn.
Yes.
He pumps out a lot of content, talks about awesome stuff. That's what I love is coming here. We're going to kind of get into the meat of it, but coming here, we're at SGA Connect, so this is probably your first one.
Yeah, it's my first one,
Yeah, so this being able to sit side by side with folks, connect with them, and then it just kind of goes from there, right?
That's awesome.
Oh, well, hey, I want to introduce you to so-and-so. That type of stuff for us has been huge for our careers. How about yourself?
I think it's really important, especially after the pandemic, to just renew these connections or make new connections together, and the thing about these conferences and like me just sitting here with you guys are rock stars. So I get a chance to meet you all in person.
He obviously
and
doesn't
talk
know
to you
us.
and I bump to you. We bump into each other, but we make those connections and we keep the circuits running,
Absolutely.
And we just use that to make this industry way better than what it is. It's already great, but we make it awesome.
together. And the thing that he said, renew or make new.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
Both of them, right?
Very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Every time we come back and be able to sit down like this, it's a blessing.
It is. It truly
Hey,
is.
appreciate all you're doing for the industry.
man.
Appreciate
Will you come back and be on again?
Yes.
Hey,
sirree.
man, I appreciate
Hey,
you
thank you.
putting out content, putting out good news about our industry. Keep doing the work, man.
Hey, thank you. And you guys, like I said, rock stars. Check these guys out. all the time, every day. Get on LinkedIn and look for a post. Look for them.
I agree.
All right, awesome.
I agree.
We'll be back.
James, we are back.
We are back.
And you know what? Our good friend David.
Just right down the way, just a booth away,
Now,
an arm reach away.
Before we introduce David, I'm just going to say I want to give a shout out before I forget. I first saw this booth a year ago, and I'm like, that booth is sharp. It
looks like Target.
It looks like the Joanna Gaines area.
It does. That's the first thing I said.
It's got end tables. It's got rugs.
There's mood lighting.
Rugs.
I think there's a candle going over there.
There's a Scentsy thing going. I smell it. Who did that booth for you?
Actually, we're a small family-owned company.
Wonderful.
My
love that.
my daughter-in-law, Amanda Emerson.
Amanda.
So
Shout out to Amanda. Always
she
doing marketing things,
crazy.
brand things. I love it.
It's we don't do a ton of shows, but at least one or two. Well, say at least two people at every show, and I tell her when we get back, come up and say this was like the best booth here, and it's like it's not me.
Well, everybody loves Target, right?
So,
but
she did the designs for all.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she does a great job.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, though,
please.
David. Do us a favor. For those
Sure.
that don't know, you just introduce yourself to our audience.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I'm David Emerson with Emerson Engineering and Controls. We're in Hoover, Alabama. Actually celebrating our 5th anniversary coming up in August. So almost
5
there.
years, congratulations.
So 5 years. Yep. So family-owned company. My wife, myself, 2 sons. And then, of course, Amanda with our marketing, and then we've got a few other engineers, and our lane is sort of the natural gas automation and controls for LNG plants or underground storage.
Yep.
Basically, this sort of conference, but this is kind of where we live.
Love it.
Good.
You said it's a family business. Jim was wondering if he could be a stepchild. It's because it worked that way.
Yeah,
I don't
come
know.
on in.
Come on.
Could you adopt me? Could you adopt me?
Please,
No.
I need to be adopted. How long have you all been coming, or you yourself coming to the SGA events?
Gosh, good question. I was thinking about that the other day, maybe 2010.
Okay.
I mean, so
Oh.
good 13 years. I mean, a long
Okay.
time.
All right.
I remember, Jacksonville, Florida, way back.
Oh, sure.
And
Wow.
and down there, and so a good
Okay.
while now. And then actually, a few years ago, became a member of the compression committee.
Oh, good. Good.
So now we have the booth, and then I'm on the committee. So it kind of further, influences that relationship with the industry.
Was it you two, or was it Steve and you that were geeking out over there about LNG and stuff? Was that you? I thought Steve came up and said maybe it was somebody at your booth.
Well, I think it was
Could be.
connecting the dots. I think Steve and David were talking about that, and then they brought me into the mix because of the LNG aspect that a lot of people don't understand.
That's
Or
what it
still
was.
that I'm still I don't know. People say I know
A
a little
SME?
bit. SME. Oh, we'll do a
LNG SME?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I'll take it.
It's a lot of acronyms.
That's easy.
We are at SGA at Natural Gas Connect, and one of the things we've been asking folks is, well, the reason for Natural Gas Connect is really to connect folks, right? And create bonds and relationships. So I'm going to ask you specifically, how have connections impacted your career?
That's a great question. We was actually talking to someone yesterday about this. And I'm 58 years old, and
Young.
He's young. Yeah, he's 58 young.
Mm.
But I think one with the social media climate they're in, I think that we're missing one element, and that is what you can do at this conference is the face-to-face interaction, the bonding when you look a person in the eye or you shake their hand. It's that personal.
Or when you have to sit this uncomfortably close,
Yes.
I'm
knee to
comfortable.
knee.
I'm comfortable.
Yeah, kind of nervous.
Yeah.
You should be.
But you're right.
No, but you
There's
can't do
something
that
different.
with the Teams meeting or Facebook or
It's
whatever.
tougher.
No, and what I find, I'll just add to that. Once you meet somebody face to face, and then you establish that bond, and then you go out and you have a phone call or a text or a Teams meeting, it's so much more amplified. That,
Yes.
it is so much more personal, and it's that
Yes.
face to face, eye to eye, handshake to handshake that
Yeah.
really does it.
Yes, yes. We had that same situation a couple months ago with a customer that we had never met personally, and then it was prior to the meeting. It was the team's meeting, and it was kind of it was the conversation, but it wasn't that sort of
Yeah.
bonding, I
Deep.
guess, that
Right.
goes
Yeah.
along or deeper. And so after we met and had a face-to-face meeting and, spent a few hours and lunch and all that informal type time, it made those meetings easier going forward, because it's
Love
like,
it.
hey, this guy is really not that bad, or, everybody has preconceived opinions and,
Mhm.
but yeah. So anyway, that the value of that is good,
Love it. Invaluable. Well, David, appreciate you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank
Thanks
you,
for
fellas.
stopping by and talking with us.
brother.
Yes,
It's
sir.
great to call you a
Yes, sir.
friend.
Appreciate all you do for our industry and
Thank
continue
you.
to do.
Thank you. Appreciate
All
it,
right.
guys.
Hey, we'll be back.